Okay, so let me show you how to mix up S&S, Sculpt and Stick. First of all, just like all cement-based products, you need to pop on a mask because cement-based products contain silica and that can be harmful for your lungs. Also need to wear some form of glasses or safety glasses because again you don't want the dust going around into your eyes. So please follow the directions in the pamphlet with all the safety information and the directions for use. So, as you can see here, we've got the two different parts. We've got part A, which is the sculpture coating and the adhesive, and part B, which converts this into a modelling medium. So we begin by placing part A into our container. Now the quantity is 3 parts of part A to 1 part of water. As you can see here, we have 1 cup and then 1/3 of a cup of water. So we tip them in together and we mix them. Some people like to use a spatula. I prefer just a recycled knife. I find it nice and firm, it cuts through the mixing a bit easier on the hand. When you first start mixing, you might think, oh gee, that's too dry, and you might be tempted to add a bit more water. But as you mix, you'll find that those little components in our special formula will take up the water and it will become a nice, smooth, creamy mixture. Once you've mixed through all the powder, you just let it sit for 5 minutes and then you give it another stir. So here's part A all mixed up, and I just need to tell you that for working time for this is about 1.5 hours. Of course it depends on the weather. In cooler weather it will last longer, and in warmer weather it will be quicker. So you've got about 1.5 hours working time with part A to use it as your adhesive or as your sculpture coating. If you have put it into a Ziploc bag like this for piping, then it will last longer than that. Now 5 minutes has passed, and so I'll just give that another stir, and that's now the perfect consistency. So if you think that your mixture is a little bit runnier or a little bit thicker than that, then you need to just add in a little bit of the liquid or the powder, whatever you think, because occasionally our cups are a little bit out or something like that. Now this is ready to use as a sculpture coating or an adhesive. You don't need to wear your mask anymore once you're working with this because there's no loose powders floating around. Also at this stage, this is when you need to colour it if you want to colour it. So you can add your colorants at this stage to turn it into a coloured adhesive or even a coloured modelling medium like I have here. You can colour it with our artistic tints that you can get from Itopia. They're on our website. Or you can also colour it with your basic oxides from hardware stores or any other coloured pigments. So if you want to convert this into a modelling medium, now it's time to add part B. So I'll show you how it's done, and once again I need to wear my mask and my glasses because this also has some cement particles in it. So you tip in a little bit at a time, and don't forget what part B is not firmly packed down into a cup, it's just loosely packed. So it's best just to put in a little bit at a time and stir it through rather than tipping the whole cup in, because the way you've packed your cup might be slightly different to the way we have. So just start stirring around with your whatever you're using as a stirrer. Really mix part A and B together. Right through, mixing 2 parts together, right into the corners. It does take a little bit of mixing. And And that mixture is still very sticky, but you can see it is starting to clump together, so I'm going to add a little bit more. And when it starts to clump together, that's the time when it's ready. Just like making pastry really, when you've combined your butter and flour, and then all of a sudden it starts forming into like a clump ball. You can test it with your gloved hands at this stage, and that's pretty good. So of course always wear gloves when you're handling the SNS, either as a sculptor coating or a modelling medium, because once again cement based products can cause issues, and with skin contact it can cause cement irritation or even something called cement burns. So do wear gloves. And that is just about nice consistency for modelling now. Get the rest of this out. You can see that I can handle it quite well without it sticking to my fingers. If you still find it is a little bit on the sticky side, what you can do is just add a little bit of, sprinkle a little bit of something, either the powder or part B, just down, just to take that stickiness away a little bit more, and roll it through with your gloved hands. And I'm sure you will agree, this is an absolutely gorgeous and amazing product. Now that I've mixed it through, once again I can remove my mask and get to my modelling. This is a unique product. I've been looking for years for something that I can do this with, and I'm just so excited that after many, many years of experimentation, and then with my husband Sebastian, who's an industrial chemist, helping me to refine the formula, I've finally come up with this beautiful modelling medium that once it's set, it's completely weatherproof, and that's what's so good about it. So what you can do with it is you can make little models like I have here. You can pack it round polystyrene shapes, coat small polystyrene shapes. Larger polystyrene shapes, you still really need to do that crisscross fiberglass mesh method covered with the SNS Part A, but you can just pack it round small polystyrene shapes, and then they're ready for their mosaics, so that makes it a lot quicker and easier. You can also model with it and just make little things like magical toadstools, make little caps like I have here, and we can paint these or cover them with some coloured SNS, and we can make some gorgeous little things like that. So really the sky's the limit with your own little modelling. What I've really formulated this for is so I can add to my existing sculptures, like I have done with the cat that I showed you before, and like I'm going to do with this quirky sculpture that I'm making. And I will be using the modelling medium to create features and to finish this sculpture off. You can also do fun things like upcycle old garden pots, and you can use your modelling medium to create faces, noses, pussycats' faces, or whatever else you want to do. I'll be showing you these things in future, in other YouTube tutorials. So please tune into our Utopia Mosaics YouTube channel so you can watch the demonstrations and the tutorials on using our SNS product for its many, many different uses. But for now, I hope you enjoy using our wonderful kit and product, and if you haven't already got some, please put in an order and try some today, because I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Thank you. Bye.